Hi guys, for those of you who watched the speciation video, yes, that was my dog barking. So now we're going to talk about Chapter 8, Biodiversity, and the early Earth. The early Earth was not hospitable to life. There is no way that living things could have existed. There was no ozone layer, so there was a lot of UV radiation. Any organism that required oxygen could not have survived. There were earthquakes, volcanoes, very high temperatures, noxious gases. But we think life on Earth appeared about 3.9 billion years ago. The creation of new living organisms is called biogenesis. Genesis meaning the beginning, bio meaning life. And we feel like that this happened in a very stepwise fashion. And to be perfectly honest, we are still trying to understand the process. In 1953, Urey and Miller conducted an experiment that showed the conditions of early Earth could allow the formation of organic monomers. And remember, organic means living things, and monomers are the building blocks for chemistry. And in their experiment, they were actually able to show that nucleotides could have been created, which of course will combine to make nucleic acids, and amino acids were created, which of course will combine to make proteins. Have a look at slide 4 so that you can really see how that experiment was done. Life depended on the creation of a molecule that could copy itself and pass on information. You had to have some way for heredity to occur. And scientists think that RNA was probably the first duplicating molecule and that DNA followed later. Cell membrane probably formed as lipids in water spontaneously grouped together. If you think about the way drops of oil behave in water, they spontaneously will try to associate with one another. The first living things were prokaryotes. They were very small, simple cells. And believe it or not, we think these were the only living things on Earth for at least 1 billion years. Hard to even conceive. Today, the prokaryotes are very successful and they're found everywhere on Earth. Remember, they are found in 2 domains, bacteria and archaea. They are prokaryotes. The bacteria are unicellular. They're found everywhere on Earth. Yes, they can cause disease, but there are also many, many beneficial bacteria. Archaea are also unicellular, but tend to live in some really weirdo extreme conditions we'll talk more about later. Prokaryotes have a cell wall for protection. It's not the same as the cell wall of plants in composition, but it has the same function. Many of them use flagella to move around. Some of them have a sticky capsule which provides protection and allows the cell to stick to surfaces. You know, if you've ever thought about how the heck do I get strep throat when I'm constantly drinking hot tea? You know, how can these bacteria hang on? Well, the capsule is one of the ways. Some of them form endospores. And so, for example, if you're in a hospital situation and you're trying to clean, some bacteria can form endospores. It's a very thick shelled state, and that provides them protection until conditions improve. It's kind of scary. It's one of the reasons it's hard to keep medical facilities as clean as we would like. Prokaryotes reproduce by binary fission, and because this can happen very rapidly, this allows for tremendous population growth. Notice in this prokaryote, you have a single circular DNA, and in the first step, the cell grows and the DNA doubles, and then at the last of binary fission, you have 2 identical individuals produced. The prokaryotes, particularly the bacteria, can have many unusual shapes. You can have the cocci, which are round. They can be alone. They can exist in chains or like that would be like beads on a string, or clusters like grapes. Bacilli, which are brick or rod shaped, they can also exist alone or in chains. And then you have the spirilla, the curved ones, which usually exist alone. Prokaryotes have a wide range of nutritional habits. We have autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs are self-feeders, and the way that they do that is by using photosynthesis. We also have some autotrophs that are chemotrophs, and they use the sulfur-rich water that is around the hot water hydrothermal vents to do their metabolism. Heterotrophs are prokaryotes that consume others. Many prokaryotes form biofilms. These are organized colonies of one or several species that are attached to a surface and maybe even connected to one another. And they can really survive very well. A great example is the plaque that we see on our teeth.